All right, we're going to show you how I am going to go through and rent cards. Right now I am looking at, I've done a lot already. So we're looking at maybe just the commons here. Let's look at commons and rare monsters. I subdivide the group. So we're going to look at commons and rares, and we're just going to look at the monsters, and we're going to look at all the alphas, betas, promos, and rewards altogether. I look at usually Untamed and maybe Dice as well. But the Untamed and Legion, rares and commons, can be used as starter cards often. So I don't often look at them together. So I'll do all these. So I'm also looking at all the 3 and above, because with rares and commons, the CP levels of level 1s and 2s are so low that's not really worth doing. Now, if we look up here, there's only 40 cards to go through. Is that right? There's only 40 cards? Huh. I'm also just looking at not rented and not delegated. Yeah, so I think one of the things I want to do is go over to ones that are for rent and look at how different my prices are. They're really off. That's why there's not many to rent. So I'm going to go through and just select a ton of these cards, shift click, grab all 199 of these cards, stop renting. Okay, change price does not work really well because there's something that Splinterlands needs to fix for it to work well. So basically, the best way to change price is to go through and just you could just select all, but I'm just going to go down to the bottom. All these are, look at, the cheapest one on the rental market is 1.1. I have mine listed at 1.6. So they are likely not going to rent mine because mine is more expensive. So if I'm interested in it, I'm going to select all of these, 482, and stop renting them. Okay, so now we're going to have a ton of cards to rent. So how do you rent thousands of cards? How do you rent thousands of cards at a time? Well, I break it down into groups, right? So right now I'm doing all the rares and all the commons and all of the old formats except for Untamed and Chaos, okay? So all in all, I need to go and now choose all the ones that aren't listed for rent. Okay, so now there are, if we look right here, 631. So how do we list tons and tons of cards? I hit select all. You got that? So there's going to be a ton of cards, and I just go to rent. This is my system. There's just so many cards, and it's not going to be like the super, super fastest, and I'm not going to necessarily agree with every load. So when I hit this load button, it's going to load all these prices starting from the top. So I'm scrolling up to the top, and it's going through and finding them all. It's going to get a little bit slower because the Splinterlands API is like, you're making a lot of inquiries about prices. So we're going to start slowing you down a little bit, but it's going to keep going through this little by little, little by little. Maybe I should pause it and come back when it does it. So I hope you can follow along with a little bit of it. You can rewatch this. You can watch it at double speed. I'm just giving a slew of tips on this. And while it's going through, I wanted to show you that it's like, most of these recommendations are probably good. I love seeing the price at 47 collection power per DEC. So this price is probably pretty good because of that. But some of them will jump out at you like 244. Is that good? Is it basing it off of a bad price? Is 286 good? 231, 294? There was a 300 in there. 300 right here. Is that a good price? I don't know. It's not like a great price, but is it at least a competitive price? So we'll go down the bottom. Even before it finishes, you can start off with what I'm suggesting. Okay, down here we have the different prices. I don't even really look at price. I look at the CP per DEC and see if it's competitive. Now, it's crazy that it goes from 130 to 77 to 24. That I think is crazy. But I hit this +1 next to the 77, so I don't want to be the number one cheapest. They're getting 60 DEC less per day. So no. And then I just hit this next button and I see, oh, all these prices are competitive. So I know that the price that it's setting for me will be good. So there's a bunch in a row. So I'm just kind of going next, next, next. So all of these, it goes from 263 down to 261. So whatever it's already loaded for me, I know is good. And then I go to the next one. And so I don't want to be the person that's responsible for going up by like 10 DEC. So I'm going to put mine second. And, so they'll grab that 40 and then they'll come to me for the 41 or something like that. I don't want it to go up by 10 CP per DEC. So this is good. That's fine. It's not going up by much. I just make fast decisions. It's not going to be perfect, but I also want some speed in there. So 50 to 100, yeah, no thanks. I am going to be number 2 in the list. So now I'm going to be listed at like 51 CP per DEC or somewhere around like 88 D. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, 88 DEC per day. But at least I'm not going to try to beat this 49. So I just go through. Most of them should be good. Just next, next, next. And it hasn't even loaded them all yet. It just means that the API is like, oh, hold on, you're making a lot of calls to Splinterlands. We're going to slow you down a little bit. That's what Splinterlands is saying, but we're still loading them all. Okay, do I want to be responsible for jacking up the prices? Well, what happens here is that this is an over-combined card. An over-combined card. So I can't really compete against this over combined card. They're getting extra CP. So really, I'm just going to focus on having a slightly lower price than this one. So sticking with this slightly better than 108 is perfectly fine. So we're going to keep going. Oh, perfect example. 192. Nope. I'm going to slot my card in just above the 131. So 132-ish, that sort of thing. So oh, look at that's really bad. I don't really want to compete against these pit ogres and 300s. It's not a good realm to be in, so I'm going to slot mine down there a little bit lower. And it's going to take a little bit longer, maybe several days until all those other ones are gone before mine gets rented. But I'm not sure. Well, here's one where one needs to get rented, and then it'll be mine. But it's another one where it's probably competing against over combined cards. So that's the problem there. Let's keep going. These are all fine levels to be compared against. That's fine. Ooh, what about this one? I'm going to slot mine in second, and I know that Cerberus is a popular card. So that first one will get rented, and then mine will be second in line. So it's just kind of my way of double checking. Obviously, I have a lot of cards to go through. And I hit the +1 next to it. That's important. Now, where are we at? It still hasn't loaded all of the cards. There we go. Look at it load it now. Because every time I do one, it's taking a little bit longer. And Splinterlands has slowed us down, so we can't search quite as fast. So you can take little breaks. You can take little subsections of cards. That's why maybe grabbing over like 1,000 cards at a time, and that's the max you can do at a time, isn't the best of thing, because just grab small sections of a few hundred cards to rent at a time. Oh, we're almost getting through. We got like a couple more. Just this gargoyle lion, basically, and the devil. Lion and the devil, but at different levels, of course. All right, while it's doing that, we're going to keep looking through. Got the Pirate Captain. They look like good prices here. And if you don't have as many cards, then you won't get slowed down by Splinterlands API. That's the system that goes and checks Splinterlands for the pricing on these cards. Here's an example. Like, I don't want to be the more expensive one, but yeah, let's just keep going. That's not a big break there. Yeah, right there. The lower the number goes, it's a bigger the price difference is between even 10 CP per DEC. Do you see this? So the higher the number, you're not, you don't have to worry. But this right here, that's fine. Let's keep it at 50 something, 66 something. This right here is a big, it's one DEC difference. I guess it's, just 6 SP or CP per DEC, but I don't need to try to beat that 6. So I'll put it in, slot it in around the 7 mark. And we'll keep going. I don't want to beat that one. I'll be number 2 in line on that one. That's fine. Ooh, look at that difference. That's a huge difference. I don't want to try to beat this one at 6. I want to slot mine in at like 20 something, maybe even the 40 something. Let's just put it in there for now. So it's just some random, what happens is people just have old prices and they don't know that it's not a really good price. They're not around to change them. They've got other things going on in life, or, I don't want to beat that 360. I'm going to beat this 270. Oh, dang, I don't want to beat the 270. I want to beat this 230 and slot mine at a much better rate, maybe. And sometimes there's issues. I may make mistakes, but I may price them a little too high. And then I just come back in a few days, maybe a week later, look for all the ones that haven't rented, stop renting them, and then relist them. Relist them, as fast as you can see here. I guess 12 minutes to do 500. It's not terrible. It's not super, super fast, but it is a faster method. A way to list maybe thousands of cards in an hour, especially if you have lots of duplicates. But this is a lot of different cards at a lot of different levels. If you have a lot of duplicates, this will go extremely fast. And the legendaries did go fast because there's a lot of, there's only 4 levels, so there's a lot of duplicates at similar levels. Oops, I went too fast, too far. So this one, here's an example. I don't want to list it at 207. I'll list it at 171. So I'll be the second in line. Let that person rent it at the lower price. I'm not going to be the one that lowers the price by drastic amounts. Someone else can do that. Okay, so 87 versus 62. That's, look here, it's a 15 DEC difference. I'm fine waiting a little bit until price comes down to me. 286, 26, 86. So this arrow here is really helpful. I mean, I guess you don't even have to load the cards, but I load the cards so that I don't have to hit the +1 on every single one. Sometimes I'm like, nope, it auto-loaded a good price. I'm sure of it. Now those stone splitters are not valuable. See, I'm not going to go up, drop the price by 5 on that one. Just keep going. We got to be getting towards the end at some point. You see here, this is new. There's a total of, once I get all of these, once I actually list them, because right now I'm just deciding on prices. Ooh, big jump there. I'm just deciding on prices. Once I list it, I'll have the potential of earning 10,000 more DEC per day, and I'll be a little bit closer because my prices will be more competitive. So here we go. We should be getting a little closer to the end. We're seeing that it's taken at least 15 minutes to list 500 cards I mean, there's a lot of them, just so you know, a lot of different levels. Look at it, every click we're doing is a new one. It's still pretty fast. You can see that I'm doing this job fast. I just have a lot of cards. Okay. How to list thousands of cards in under an hour. So I'm being real with you. It could take an hour or two to list thousands and thousands of different cards, not duplicate types of cards, you know? That's really fast. Look at that difference, 240 to 120. Look at 15 to 7. I'm not going to try to beat this crazy person. They can get their card sold for half the amount. Or not sold, rented. Let's just keep going. Oh man, that's really bad pricing on that one. No one likes playing with those cards. And then you get to see also what the popular cards are, I guess. Man, there's so many. Sometimes I do rarity by rarity, but this is 2 rarities at a time. So I just wanted to show you could do hundreds and hundreds of cards in a relatively short period of time. It's not time free, still takes a little bit of effort. Imagine that, effort to make money. So I don't know why I did that. That's funny. Just +1 next to this one. I don't just clicking random things. Oh, but look at this. It goes from 555 to 9. Yeah. Hello. I am going to do that. I don't want to beat these 5s. I'll be 3rd in line, I guess. And I'll do that. Holy cow. There's so many. Okay, where are we at in line? If we scroll up, we'll see them highlighted. Look how many cards there are. Where am I? I'm still way up here. Isn't that insane? Wow, I gotta go faster. I have way too many more to go. Oh, I just hit the load button again. Oh no, I just ruined everything. But then you would hit confirm. And then it would list all those cards. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Listing hundreds of cards in under an hour. Or listing thousands of cards in under an hour. Thousands of different cards, monsters, whatever. And there we go. So if you want to show, let's do a smaller version. If we're just looking at Chaos Legion, which I've already processed most of them. So they're already kind of done. So I'm mostly done. Yeah, look at that. I don't have many more cards to do. Sorry. I've done most of them, but I hope that you enjoyed watching. This was one of my shorter videos, and now I've got most all of my cards are all listed now. I can unclick this. Actually, what you can do is just refresh the whole entire page to reset your filters. So someone asked for a feature to reset your filters. I'm like, just refresh the page. Then all your filters get refreshed. So I'm going to look at all the cards. This is the other thing that I'll tend to do. All the cards that are not on the market. Okay. And then I look at the top ones first. But this is interesting. So we're going to go through, grab all of these really expensive cards and work on renting them. So we'll load. Look at 400 range. That's crazy. 50 range, it's fine. I don't need to compete against that one. Guess I do against those. We're going through these a lot faster. The API loaded them all up quite quickly. All the prices seem good. Well, I don't want to beat that one. I'll be second in line. Or second in line on that one. that one, and that one. Ooh, this one. This one. Going through them quickly. Okay, found one to change the price of. Well, that's interesting. Maybe it just hadn't found these cards to relist them. Interesting. I'm going to set them to list. Maybe I have to give them time. I do recognize a couple of duplicates, and that's interesting. I just needed to maybe let the other ones list. I jumped the gun. So learn from my mistakes, I suppose. Okay, I've got a lot more cards to go through. So I'm going to go through, grab all of these, 139 cards. We should be able to list them quite quickly. Load them. Should load them pretty fast. There's a lot of duplicates, as you can see. So when there's a lot of duplicate cards, you can go through them quite quickly. Sometimes what else I'll do is I'll just look for high numbers, click on them, and go see if it's competitive. Yep. So you can be, it depends on how fast you want to be. Scan through the numbers and find high numbers. That's fine. Or go one by one. So those are two methods. Oh, look at this. This is a high number. Yeah, it seems like that's the way to go. How about this one? You can also go the opposite direction. Look, I don't want to beat that one. Let's beat this. Ooh, another one. And, you know, sometimes some of them slip through. And I don't know. This legendary 250s. Yeah, I guess that's where it's at. So either way, you could load and hope that most of them will be okay, or you can be a little bit more careful. So that both are different methods, I suppose. But get them listed if you're not playing with them. Out hundreds and hundreds of cards. Hundreds of cards. I'll go the fast method and just hope that the load button is working. So I'm giving you the quick method and the more careful method. But I'm still going to be somewhat careful by like, 302. Let's double check this price. Oh yeah, see, I'm going to go down here to the 270. That'll make a difference. And the Camilla, yep, I'm not going to try to beat the 280, 251. How about the Jin Bidlchka? I guess that's a decent price. The Oceanus, 150s. What else do we got? 280s. Wow. Let's see. Let's not try to beat the 280s. Let's go to 270s. And let's see if there's any other high CP per DEC numbers. 200s, 270 is pretty high. Let's try to see what that one. Yeah, I guess since it loaded, it found two more at 290 and 270. So 271 is plenty good price. And level one's at 150. Oh, I knew it. Look at that. It should be around the 63 range. I knew it. The card is too good. Anyways, you can go through and be careful. Whoops. Or you can just kind of skim through and see if there's any prices that you just don't agree with. That's the two methods. Like Gold Dragon, that's a good card. Why is it doing 193? I don't know. I'm going to put it at second. Anyways, listing hundreds of cards real quick. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next video.